So here we have the Eureka, and as you can see on the front we have nothing but the U logo. And here on the back it gives us some of the specs. Let me just break the seal. Again, as you can see, it's a sealed unit that they've loaned to me. And so let's take this out. And the unique thing about this device, I would say, important thing is it runs on Cyanogen mod. And here it gives us some of the specs. It says it's powered by a Snapdragon 615 chipset, which is a 1.5 gigahertz octa-core processor. It has the Adreno 405 GPU. The Snapdragon 615 is 64-bit capable. And it has Gorilla Glass 3. It has 16 gigs of internal storage, 2 GB RAM. 5 megapixel front facing camera, 13 megapixel rear facing camera, and it is based on Cyanogen mod, Android version 4.4. It has Bluetooth version 4 support and a 2500 milliamp battery. And the price quoted on the box is 12,500, but they are currently selling it on Amazon.in via their flash sales for just 9,000 bucks. And this device is 4G LTE compatible in India. And the good thing is SAR values are pretty low. It says 0.27 and on the head, and for the body it's 0.56. So it's pretty low. So let's quickly open this up now. And we have the device itself. Let me take that out. So this is the device. We'll come back to this a bit later. And let's first look at the accessories. We also have a warranty card. SAR information again we have over here, user manual. And it's in black and white color. We also do get a screen card with this one, so it's nice. Though it has Gorilla Glass, we get a screen card also. And looks like we have some further accessories in this box also. Yes, we have a wall charger, which is pretty small, I would say. On this end we have the charging cable. We also have the battery, and we do also get the headset with this one. Let me open the headset and show it to you guys. And it's a in here again. We have the branding, and we have a button here and a microphone, so you can use this button to take or end calls. And we also have the battery, which is a 2500 milliamp hour battery, but it looks pretty massive. So let me just keep these things to the side and let's look at the device. So this is the device itself, and without the battery it feels pretty light. And again, here it gives us some information regarding the CPU, and it says the camera 5 megapixel front facing and a 13 megapixel rear facing. And we have this U branding on the back also. And it looks like sandstone finish like we have seen on the OnePlus One, but it is not as rough. In fact, it is actually pretty smooth and soft. So let's pop in a battery, and it says it's a 2500 milliamp hour battery. And the battery capacity looks a little bit low to my liking, as it sports a 5.5 inch screen with the octa-core processor. And we also have silica gel, and we can insert our SIM card. The SIM 1 goes here, the SIM 2 goes over here, and we can add a micro SD card also. So let's quickly just put in our SIM. Here goes the SIM, and we can also add our SD card to this device. I'll add this 8 gig SD card, and let's pop in the battery, and let's try to do the first initial boot with this device. And I hope it has some charge. Yes, give me haptic feedback. Again, we have the U branding. It says powered by Android. And this is just a rebranded CoolPad F2 device, with just the U branding. And it says the unique thing is it's powered by Cyanogen mod, Cyanogen OS. So that's the unique thing about this device. By the time it actually boots, let me give you a physical overview. On the top we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. On here we have the power on off button. Nothing else over here. On the bottom, the main microphone, the micro USB slot that will be used for charging this device. And on this end we have the volume rocker. Moving towards the back, we also have a secondary microphone, the 13 megapixel rear facing camera, LED flash, U branding, and this is opening for the speaker. And the front facing camera is a 5 megapixel shooter, and the screen is a 5.5 inch screen, which is a 720p HD screen. So let's quickly just set this up, and I'll add this Google account etc. a bit later. We can also create a U account if you would like, but I'll just skip that for the time being. And we can use the on-screen buttons also. The unique thing is like that we saw on the OnePlus One. Instead of these physical buttons over here, you can use the virtual buttons also. So that functionality is also there on this device. We'll enable that a bit later. And we are done. And it detected my first SIM. And as you can see, we are actually booted. So it booted pretty quickly. Let's quickly just connect it to my Wi-Fi network. And let me just connect to my Wi-Fi network. And it supports the 2.4 gigahertz band. It does not support the 5 gigahertz band. So it is connected. Let's continue. And let's look at the Android version. And as you can see, it's powered by the Android version 4.4.4. That is KitKat. But this device is going to get the Android Lollipop update. Cyanogen has mentioned about that. And as you can see, it's running on the Cyanogen OS version 11. And again, the model number for this device is the Yuraka. Let's look at the internal storage. Internal storage, we get a 16 gigabytes, but out of that, let's see how much do we get. And oops, I went to the battery. Let's go to the storage. And as you can see, out of that 16 gigabytes, we get 12.62 gigabytes free for us. So that's a good thing. And we can also add a SD card. I added a 8 GB SD card to this device. And it says we can mount USB storage. So looks like it will also support USB OTG functionality. So that is nice. And let me just go back and let's look at the display options. If you go to the brightness, we do also have the auto brightness sensor on this device. So that functionality is also there. And again, as it's running Cyanogen mod, we have the theme support and the status bar using which we can change stuff. For example, let's show the battery as percentage, and that is now shown. So again, as it has Cyanogen mod, you have a lot of additional functionality on this device, and we have this buttons. As I mentioned, we can enable, right now it's using the capacitive buttons, but I can also enable the virtual buttons. Now these capacitive buttons don't work, and now we have the virtual buttons. So that also works pretty well, as you can see. And let's see, these are the apps that are pre-installed. We have some third-party apps like Batten and Audio FX. So not a lot of bloatware. We also do have the FM radio. So that is there if you guys like it. And we also have theme support for Cyanogen mod on this. Let's quickly just fire up the Chrome web browser. And I've got to accept this. And as we are connected, let's go to rediff.com. And this is the stock keyboard that we get. And let's see how fast it loads. And it loaded the mobile version. Let's switch to the desktop variant. Again, if you notice how quickly it loaded it. And it's powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 615 chipset with 2 gigs of RAM. The 615 chipset is pretty fast, I would say. And even on the Desire 820, which I used earlier, had the Snapdragon 615 chipset, and it is a fast chipset, but it was exhibiting some overheating issues on the Desire 820 when I was stressing it. So it will be interesting to see when I test this device, does it overheat or not. As of now, it looks pretty smooth in terms of web browsing also. And this is the multitasking tray that we get. And this is for the back. So let's also quickly now fire up the camera. The rear facing camera is a 13 megapixel shooter. So let's try to invoke that. Let's go to the apps and let me see. Here we have the camera app. And this is the Xiaomi Note 4, and no thanks. Let's take a few pictures. And again, if you look at the camera interface, it is actually very stock, and the shutter speed is fast. It's shooting the pictures pretty fast, I would say. Another thing to note is that even with the battery, the handset feels very light to hold. So it's a very light handset. It's not a heavy handset. And let's look at the pictures that we shot just now. So these are the pictures that we shot. And They look pretty decent, but I will be testing the camera performance of this device later on. But again, do remember that this Yuraka is just again being sold indirectly by Micromax only. Micromax is the parent company, so I cannot vouch a lot about the end user support, because traditionally Micromax devices did not have that great end user support. And in fact, this Yuraka guys had contacted me about a month ago, and I had replied to them via the email, but they never got back to me. So I don't know, if they don't respond to me, what will happen to normal regular customers. In fact, even C4E Tech, Ash from C4E Tech, these guys contacted him, and they said that they would be sending out a review unit to him, but he never got it. So I'm just not sure how would be their support if you require it. So that's it for now for this quick unboxing of this Yuraka U. If you have any specific questions around this device, do post them in the YouTube comments and I'll try to include them in my review. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video.